What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with Gab and Maui. What's up, guys?
Daming games.
Yes! Too many
Sobrang
What a
daming
weekend.
games.
games.
What a weekend of
What a
basketball.
weekend
Diba?
for UAAP and college hoops fans in general. So, dahil dyan, marami tayong pag-uusapan today and we'll do another set of back-to-back episodes. So, stay tuned for that. Actually, I think if you're watching this episode, you already saw part 1 of our back-to-back episode. So, this is part 2. We're going to talk about UAAP news recap. A bunch of things happened in the UAAP. So we'll talk all about that and we'll recap some of the games that happened at PinoyLiga during PinoyLiga last weekend. So let's get started. So first, let's get started with one of the older mga news updates that we heard. And ito, maraming naging issue din dito because there were contrasting reports or uh, things that were happening. But finally, Tiebreaker Times, I think, broke the news that Femi Edu has finally committed to joining the Ateneo Blue Eagles. I think there was an interview with him. So, verbally, nag-commit na si Femi Edu. Although, alam naman natin, ang verbal commitment ngayon is hindi din 100% guaranteed. But, after all that has been said and done, Femi Edu finally committing to Ateneo. How does this impact Ateneo's chances? We know Ateneo needs a big man. He's not necessarily as big as his brother, si who plays as a big man for the Gilas Pilipinas. But how does this help the Ateneo Blue Eagles' chances? Let's start with you, Gab.
Not so much. At first, key yung sinabi mo sa amin.
I'm sorry, Ateneo fans. I tried. I'm sorry. I tried to hype that up.
Not so much. Sam, key yung sinabi mo eh. When I first saw the picture of him with Tab Baldwin in his home in the UK, I was like, ooh, Femi Edu's brother. AJ Edu's brother. He might be big. Then the more I search for him, he's a guard. He's only 6'4". He's a guard. I'm like, we don't need more guards, Tab. What are you doing? So honestly, no. The guard stats for season 87 are filled. I think that's pretty much locked and set already. There's Jared Bahay, there's Ian Espinosa at point guard. Probably a mix of si Michael Asoro will do that, and you and Chris Kuhn can play some point guard. At shooting guard, you have Sean Kiteves, you have LeBron Nieto, you have Kyle Gamber, Rafi Celis. Sean Tawanyo can play some guard if he wants to. Even at the wing position, you have Chris Kuhn, you have Sean Tawanyo, you have Andrew Bongo. There are a ton of perimeter guys on Ateneo already. Now, they have struggled, yes. Is Femi Edu gonna instantly crack the rotation? I highly doubt it. I tried to watch some highlights. He seems to have some skills. He can shoot. He says he was said to be a bit athletic, but from the videos, again, this is a bit of a highlight reel bias, but from the videos, he seems a bit slow for a 6'4" guard. So I think there's a reason why he's going to the Philippines and not going to any higher level league like US NCAA for that matter. So or even the EuroLeague. I don't see him cracking the rotation for season 87. Much like what I said for Jacob Baila, this is more of a season 88 and onwards recruitment for Ateneo. Chris Kuhn is leaving after this year, so there are a lot of minutes being left behind by Chris Kuhn. You could see maybe Femi Edu getting some of those minutes for next season if he plays well, if he shows his wares in practice. But yung biggest thing sa akin is if I'm gonna criticize UP for over recruiting, I'm gonna criticize Ateneo for over recruiting because we did not need more perimeter players for this season and even for the next few seasons. We have a ton of perimeter players. He could have gone elsewhere, honestly. Could have gone to many other schools that were in need of a guard or a wing type player with his height. Because honestly, I don't think he's gonna play power forward. I think he's gonna be wasted playing power forward. If he's a guard, he has to play as a guard. Don't play as a power forward here in the Philippines. Again, same Same things we've said about players such as Francis Lopez, Jacob Baila from the past episode. We don't want him to play as a big man here because sayang yung talent nila, sayang yung perimeter skills yung that they've shown, diba? So yeah, I don't understand this recruitment actually. While I do like it, yung Atenista ako, we have another talent under our stable, but this doesn't make sense from a rotational and a positional standpoint for the Blue Eagles. Again, man, they have a ton of guards that I think are set in the rotation already. Not only for season 87, but also for season 88 onwards. Maybe once Chris School leaves, as I said earlier, maybe you can see him taking some of those minutes. But also, there are also a ton of other players that are vying for rotation minutes. So, not gonna affect the season 87 chances. Highly doubt it. But let's see what you think, Maui or Sammy. Kayong dalawa yung naka-blue.
Guys, you heard it here first. Gab, the Atenean, criticizing Ateneo for over-recruiting their guard. So, you heard it. First time ko narinig yan. Maui, let's go with you.
Yeah. Ako, yung reaction ko remains to be seen kung ano magiging effect ni Femi Edu. The Ateneo rotation right now is in shambles. Daming wings and guards and no big man. I think that was proven, especially during the game against the Salle during PinoyLiga. Ateneo was basically clobbered on the offensive. On the rebounding side, diba? La Salle clearly dominated Ateneo in the glass, dominated also in the paint. So I don't know, maybe this is another move for Tab to play a small ball lineup, diba? Kasi it looks like Ateneo will be employing a small ball and fast lineup for season 87. I don't know if Femi Edu will crack the rotation. We haven't seen much, as Gab mentioned, of Femi. It's not like AJ Edu, which was very hyped during when he was young. I think si Femi also played sa Gilas, but it wasn't really with the same hype. Probably similar to CJ Amos with Mason. It's just a bit surprising that Ateneo decided probably to go for another guard wing. But at the same time, I think it's also I also understand why Ateneo had to go for Femi Edu. Despite the very tight rotation on the guard and wing slot. So far there hasn't been a proven player to play sa small ball lineup. Si Andrew Bongo has been a part of a lot of criticism online, and Ateneans haven't been happy with him playing as a small ball 4.
Not just so Ateneans or others online, also here in this podcast by me.
I had a lot of personally I had a lot of expectations when it came to Bongo, because before season 85, he was already playing for Ateneo and he played pretty well during the European tour. So I was a bit surprised na wala siya sa lineup ng season 85 ba? And then he wasn't really that impactful come season 86. I think that Ateneo's doing this to have other options on the wing slot. I think what's locked right now is probably Tuano and Chris Kuhn playing a ton of minutes. But other than that, it's still a question mark. It remains to be seen, especially since we haven't seen Josh Lazaro yet play for Ateneo. I don't know if Lazaro is indeed injured or if Lazaro is on his way out. We haven't seen any reports right now, but based on what we've heard, he's also injured. But at the same time, I guess it also remains to it also is a big problem for Ateneo that yung key recruit players right now walang big man. I think they got Porter, that was very important. Imagine Ateneo not getting Porter, di ba? How big how thin the front line would be this season. I really think that they should still convince Gio Chu to come back. To be honest, I think all three of us share the same sentiments. Even some of the alumni that I've been talking to who were big were opposed to Gio Chu playing.
Critics.
Are big critics, critics of Gio Chu are now saying that they feel the effects of losing a player of the caliber of Gio. Gio probably didn't have yung flashiness that were being that we always see. He didn't have those Isaac Go 3-pointer or those Isaac Go moments, but he was able to hang with the other big men of the other schools. So there's still a few months to go. I'm hoping that Ateneo finds a diamond in the rough, the big man. So far, it's been a bit discouraging also, diba? With Balogun not performing up to par. But that's not the end. I mean, even si Joe Obasa struggled off the bat last year. I think even during almost the whole first round. And we saw a different Joe Obasa during the latter parts of the season. So maybe we see Balogun play to the same level when he was playing in CEU. Sam.
Okay. Um, Good feedback on AJ Edu tuloy. Femi Edu. Now, let's move on to sad news. Medyo bad news to, no? So,
Wait, what's your opinion, you Mr. UP?
hindi. Okay na. Same naman. I think we talked about it. I don't expect Edu to make that huge of an impact in Ateneo today. And I agree with what you said, Gab. As I mentioned earlier dun sa intro, we were sort of hoping for a big man, and as much as his brother is a big man, he is a 6'4" guard wing type of player. So, yun lang yung disappointing doon. But anytime you get to add someone with a history, diba? Like with a brother like AJ Edu, you're sort of hype. But as you mentioned, Gab, wala pa naman tayong napapanood masyado, diba, sa kay Femi Edu. So, it remains to be seen. So, I like what Maui said na to be determined pa yung reactions ni Maui. But moving on to the next news that we should talk about. Ito naman medyo sad or bad news, especially for fans of their teams, diba? So, we saw an article na, and we heard that there are 3 players that suffered ACL injuries. The most notable one was Josh Coronel, and we were so hyped here in Boleros to see Josh Coronel play for UP in PinoyLiga. That was one of the things that we highlighted that we were looking forward to the most when PinoyLiga started. And I know our fans were the first ones to mention that Josh Coronel suffered an injury. That's why he wasn't playing for UP in PinoyLiga. So it has been confirmed he suffered another ACL injury. Prayers up to Josh Coronel, and we really hope that he can recover and come back for season 88. So that means he will miss another season playing for UP. And along with Josh Coronel, L.A. Andres from UP also suffered an ACL injury. So, he could have had a chance to make it to the team this season, but unfortunately, he will be missing season 87. So, his best chance would be season 88, where he will be playing against like a guy like Noy Remogat, as part of the team. Lastly,
Against or with?
with Noy Remogat. Lastly, for Lasal, si Melencio, who was also injured last season during his rookie year. So 3 guys that were supposed to make their debut this coming season, supposedly suffering ACL injuries. My question to you guys. So I want to talk about this. Let's talk about each one. But my question to you guys is, which injury hurts the most for you? Or for the player or for the team? Ano yung pinakamasakit na injury dito? Let's start with you, Maui.
Yeah, I think yung biggest news out of this is Josh Coronel. I think yung hype was there for Coronel the whole season last year. The whole season last year sa practices pa lang. We've been hearing a lot also from our subscribers from UP also. This hurts, but anytime you suffer an ACL injury, I think yung kay Coronel and kay Melencio talaga yung mabigat because this is their second ACL injury. I'm not sure if si L.A. Andres, so far reports have been saying this is his first. But suffering a second ACL injury in how many years is crazy. They're especially for players who are just starting out their career. We saw how multiple ACL injuries can impact a player's performance on the court with the caliber of CJ Cancino, di ba? CJ Cancino used to be a monster, a slasher, a do-it-all forward. And when he tore his 2 ACLs, he decided that he had to work on his shooting. he became a sharpshooter and had to change yung game niya, and you can see yung effects. It's a bit concerning to me that we see 3 players again suffer ACL injuries. Parang kasi the past few years we haven't seen a lot of players suffering ACL injuries. Is this a byproduct of how players now move on the court because of more explosive moves? Is this a byproduct of our training being left probably not up to standard to the international way? I think if you look at yung numbers across different, especially the NBA, we haven't seen a lot of ACL injuries the past few years. But I hope that we address this. I hope that we have the proper training, we have the proper stretching, we have the proper preparations for games, so we can prevent these types of injuries. The good thing is, it looks like ACL injuries are not as debilitating as it was it was before. Players have been able to come back. Players have been able to play to a higher degree, as we've seen also with CJ Cancino. So maybe si Coronel and Melencio have to look at CJ Cancino and model their games to him and how he was able to overcome 2 ACL injuries, yet still have an impactful college career after that. But it's sad. It's sad. I myself, if you watch our early episodes, I myself suffered an ACL injury before. It's not easy, di ba? You being out 6 to 8 months, not being able to play basketball. These guys hope to play basketball for a living and hope to have a career out of basketball. That's the reality, di ba? These players, despite being students, ang main priority nila for sure is basketball. These guys are gifted players. Melencio being a mythical team member and Coronel being a key member sa championship team nila Salle. And also a Gilas member. LA Andres was also being hyped up, but this is hopefully they're able to bounce back. We are still looking forward to seeing both Melencio and Coronel and Andres in the UAAP. Hopefully this is a setback that they're able to pull through. Gab.
Ang pinakamasakit si Andres because he was supposed to play season 85 pa lang.
I agree.
He initially committed to LaSalle when LaSalle was under Derek Pomarin. So I think he enrolled in LaSalle, if I'm not mistaken. Well, he went to LaSalle for, I think, grades 7 to 9, if I'm not mistaken. And then went on to commit to LaSalle under Derek Pomarin in the seniors division. Was supposed to play, I think, season 85. Did not make the lineup. I think it transferred to UP. I think broke his hand or his wrist right before the season. Was not put in the lineup. We cut him in our luck, maybe or not. And again, he's injured again for this. So, pinakamasakit talaga sa LA Andres. This is now 3 seasons. He's on the sidelines. He's on the outside looking in. And sakit pare. You said, Sam, na they all had a chance to make the lineup for this season. Ako si LA Andres, maybe a slim chance to make the lineup for this season, honestly, with the amount of talent that UP has. And especially with the recruitment of
Given the injuries.
Given the injuries, Sam, with the recruitment of Jacob Baila, they're out.
Chance.
Wala.
No, that's true.
Walang nag-open slot with the recruitment of Jacob Baila. There are no slots open for him already in season 87. So, sad, man. I don't want to see any player get injured, but if I were LA Andres, I would consider maybe going elsewhere for
packing your bags again. Damn.
Yeah, pack your bags again. It doesn't look like
wow.
Season 88.
Mag-red shirt na siya, no? Lumipat na siya.
Yeah, mag-red shirt na siya. Habang injured siya, season 88 is gonna play behind again. Presumably. Depends on how good he is. Compared to their other wings, Chico Briones, Jacob Baila, Francis Lopez, presumably still eligible for season 88. I don't know if he's going to stay, but
diba,
Tertulas. Yeah, but
even Belmonte. Yeah.
But yeah, if I were LA Andres, I'd do a fresh start, man. I do a fresh start, secure minutes agad. go to a place where minutes are secured, where minutes
Go to
will
UE.
sure be given.
The land
Yeah,
of opportunity.
he's a
Adam
six
Sol.
five. Yeah, he's a 6'5" power forward / wing. Other teams will need a 6'5" power forward / wing. But this is already his 4th year of eligibility if ever he suits up for season 88. And in UP, it's not secured. His minutes are not secured. His spot in the rotation is not secured. I would go to a place where his minutes and yung rotation are secured. There are a ton of guys have done this before. So I know some of you fans are going to be angry at me, blah, blah, blah. But this has been done before. He needs this for his career. He needs this. If he's gonna play in 88, 4th year of eligibility, he needs to produce. If
Pero
he wants to show something for his career.
Pero Gab,
Sam.
tama ba? Kasi since he didn't make any of the teams, he can still play more years, diba? Technically, 4th year na siya, but since he didn't make any of the teams, he can still play for a few more years. Tama.
Pero Sam, how old is he?
Yun lang.
Yun ang problem.
Okay.
Diba? How old is he? How long does he have left to play?
Yeah, I think
Saka,
I think
Sam, if you're saying na he fills out his years of eligibility, even he hasn't played 5 years or whatever year, he's gonna play until 25 in college. We've said this before. It's not the way to go. Cash in as early as possible while you're as young as possible, diba? Sam, Maui, you were saying something.
Yeah, but I think si Andres is still only 20, 21 years old based on reports.
So relatively young.
So, I guess he has to have a career similar to CJ Cancino. Sagad ang UAAP career until he's probably 24, 25, as Sam mentioned. If he still decides that's his dream to make it to the pros. Yeah, Gab.
Yun lang. If you look at season 88 wing / power forward rotation for UP, si Kip You know, there's Baila, Coronel will come back. I forgot about Coronel. He's gonna come back. He's gonna compete for those wing / forward minutes. So, heat up, man. As much as I don't want to waste another year of LA Andres, no, I do think he needs to find a place where he can instantly get minutes, secure minutes, talaga. Sammy, go.
I have a follow-up
ahead.
question lang, Sam, to Gab.
Go.
Would you say the same for Seven Gagate, who's also expected to be out at least, I think, 4 to 6 months? So that would put him right before the UAAP season. So not yet sure to make it the lineup.
No? May chance pa to be healthy for season 87. Yeah.
I think the expectation and if you look at yung chances, it's very high probability that he'll be there by the start of the season. But given the tight rotation in the front line and not being able to compete for minutes in the off season, would you say the same for Seven Gagate?
I think we're both we're on the same boat here, Mr. Mariano Yap. Yes, I would say the same to Seven Gagate. He's the 4th center. I've said this many times before, and even to a lot of our subscribers in the comments. Yeah, a lot of who are tuned into the UP rumor mill have said na Seven is still raw. He's not performing as much. He's not as smart on the court. He doesn't produce as much. Yeah, and he's gonna continue to be that if he doesn't get minutes on the floor. He needs to be in a place where he can get those experience on the court because he's the 4th center for the season 87. It's Gani Stevens, it's Kingsley Ododo, Sean Arthur, and then it's him. From the UP Salle game this past Saturday, they still played Terculas, Belmonte, and Lopez at the 4. He's not getting minutes at the 4. So he's still playing exceptionally center. Now, where does he go? Anywhere. I'm sure any of the other 5 to 6 UAAP schools would want a 6'7", 6'8" center. A lot of schools that big, man.
NCAA,
Or
a big
NCAA.
man,
Exactly,
someone
Sam.
that big in the
More
NCAA
so.
will
More
dominate.
so in the
Yeah.
NCAA, di ba? Kasi there's no
Oh, di ba?
FSAs.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I'm sure a lot of our UP subscribers will respond vehemently to this, but I still believe na it's riding the bench for 2 to 3 seasons when you're obviously a talent and you have something that a lot of teams want, height. I don't think that's the right move. That that's just my take. I mean, you can have your own opinion, but I just think for seven and even for LA Andres, cashing in on minutes, securing spots in rotation, even if it's for a less of a powerhouse team than UP, I think it's gonna be worth it for their career. Sammy, Maui.
Malay mo, late bloomer lang si Seven. Maging Al Husseini siya, di ba? Si Al Husseini,
Or
very raw or
Cortez.
bangko nung
Raven Cortez, di ba?
Raven Cortez. So,
Rode the bench for a few years.
yeah. For
Kaso Sam,
So may chance pa
hindi
naman.
lulu. Yeah.
I think silver lining lang for Seven is he gets to play with quality bigs during practice, 'di ba? So sana natututo siya dun sa mga teammates niya. But, to your point, like, ang mahirap dun kasi is because he's raw and he's playing with other quality bigs. Dun siya nahihirapan to get minutes, 'di ba? Or experience. So what you're saying is hindi naman masama na he's in UP. It's just that if he wants more playing time, actual playing time in competitive games, then he might want to consider moving to another team. Not necessarily within the UAAP, could also be going back to the NCAA where he came from nung juniors time niya. So it's that, no, yung talagang disconnect, yung when you're raw, you sort of want more experience and playing time, but when you're playing with quality players in the same position, it's sort of hard to get that. And to Maui's point, the only reason why Maui brought this up was because injured din siya, diba? So, medyo hindi pa tayo sure if he's going to make it to season 87. So, yun lang, to be clear. But to answer the question, I have the same pick with Gab. I'm actually, excuse me, I'm surprised Gab picked LA Andres. That was supposed to be the surprise pick ko. Masakit, but tama si Maui. Masakit for Coronel and Melencio because it's their second ACL, di ba? And that was one of the things that I was going to point out sana for those two guys. But for me, it's LA Andres because he hasn't made the team yet. And to Gab's point, matagal na siyang raring to join the UAAP seniors teams. So we're really hoping that LA Andres can make it to the team next season. Josh Coronel, Melencio, we're sort of like sure that if they're healthy, they can make it to the team the following season, diba? With LA Andres, haven't seen much of him kasi. Yun yung problem. So, I was really hoping he would make the team this coming season. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So, that hurts for him, but prayers for him and for all three guys. We hope all of them get better. Oy, moving on.
ACL
Go, Gab.
injuries it's not the end of your career unlike dati, no? Gagaya ka na sabi ni Maui, it's easier to recover. So, with rehab and therapy, I think you can get back to good playing shape. So, hopefully for these three guys, they're back on they're back on the path of their basketball careers once season 88 comes on.
You're actually stronger after undergoing ACL therapy. Yun ang sabi nila. You come back stronger with a better balanced body. So let's see. Hopefully that's the end of their ACL injuries, di ba? All three of them.
Okay, moving on. Marami tayong games over the weekend, and nung Wednesday, I think, was yung other games. So, I just wanted to ask, I'm sure napanood nyo yung some of the games. I think one of the more exciting ones na napag-usapan natin was the Salle FEU game. So, my question to you guys actually is, who was the most surprising or notable player for you over the weekend na either nagulat ka, played an excellent game, or has been consistently playing really well sa Pinoy Liga? This entire Pinoy Liga Cup. Let's start with you, Gab.
I don't know about consistently, Sam, but he finally yung broke out, and Janrey Pasaol is my pick. He had a spectacular game yesterday against the LaSalle Green Archers. Although I would say the team B of the De La Salle Green Archers, because it is mostly the guys who were eligible for season 88 plus some of the bench guys and Bright Noanco, who's not gonna play this season anymore. So Janrey Pasaol to 29 points, had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Finally, I think he's getting the play of the seniors division and how to play as the lead guard and getting the system of Coach Sean Chambers. Granted, there was no Joric Bautista in this game, so a lot of the usage and ball handling and playmaking
Just went to
responsibilities
him.
went to him. Yeah, it just went to him. The ball was in his hands the whole game. And he took advantage of the opportunity. He was running the court, just blowing by all of the LaSalle guards, getting to the basket. If there's one advantage he has over majority of the guards in the UAAP, or at least for LaSalle's guards, smaller guards, he's huge for a guard. He has a big body. He's strong. He can penetrate and get fouls. He had 13 free throw attempts. Now, he did miss a crucial free throw that lost them the game eventually on a Jacob Cortez 3, yung right after. So that's something to work on, Janrey. Those free throws, man. He was 8 of 13 from the free throw line. I think you want it closer to 80% from the foul line, yung as a guard who gets to the free throw line a lot. But man, his shot looks smoother. He looks more patient. He doesn't look sped up by the pressure of that EJ Goliana and Jacob Cortez were putting on him. So, along with BJ Pre, that's a deadly 1-2 punch. I want to see more pick and rolls with the two of them. I want to see if even inverted yung pick and rolls with BJ Pre as the ball handler and then Janrey Pasaol as a screener. Much like to what Steph Curry and Draymond Green do. BJ Pre has that ball handling and playmaking skill, that you can take advantage of. Maybe get a small guy on him and let him penetrate. I want to see more of those experimentation from Coach Sean Chambers. But masakit ng talo. Don't get me wrong. It's a painful loss. I think they were up by 8 with a minute to go, and they still lost the game. So it was a very painful defeat. But I think Janrey Pasaol will learn from that. He's one of my favorites for Rookie of the Year for this upcoming season, along with his teammates, BJ Pre. And I like seeing it. I like seeing these young guys ball out for the FEU Tamaraws.
By the way, Gab, let me just comment. Sinabi mo Team B ng LaSalle, pero yung Team B na yun had Jacob Cortez and Kian Baclaan playing for them. So, if yun yung Team B ng LaSalle, I'll take it any day.
Mga kasi,
if I had to choose.
Mga hindi pa eligible players, diba? Like Pablo, who's
tama naman.
getting run also.
To be fair, if you match up the Team B of LaSalle with the Team B of UP, I think you'd get a pretty good game. I mean, Removic's there.
I would watch that game. Anyway, go ahead, Maui.
Yeah, I was gonna say si Omar John, but I have to say lang first, since si Gab talked about yung LaSalle FEU game, si EJ Goliana played a hell of a game. I think he sparked yung late game rally nila with his hustle and energy. This guy probably could crack the rotation next season because as we've mentioned during our UP LaSalle game, it seems like LaSalle is gonna run KQ at the point. So baka all wing lineups, and having a guy like Goliana be that energy guy, that hustle guy, could prove wonders for his playing time come season 87. But I have to say si Omar John from last weekend, not just last weekend, but during Pinoy Liga, we all know that he's battling Diasana for that spot, FCA spot for NU this has been the case the past 2 seasons, di ba? Last season, it was pretty clear that maybe Omar John should get that FSA slot. But this season, it's looking like that NU is starting to trend towards Diasana. But despite that, Omar John has been very aggressive. I think even during yung first game that we covered, PinoyLiga, he has been very aggressive. He has been very vocal on the court. I think this was his first player of the game notion. He was notable during the weekend and he got his first player of the game. I think him showing this energy, showing this effort, prove wonders, and he's getting more minutes than Diasana. Diba? We've been saying that Diasana could or should be the FSA, but at the end of the day, it's still Omar John getting more minutes, and it's because he's really showing yung ano niya. With this, I think yung body niya, he was able to transform this offseason. He looks bulkier than last offseason. Maybe after all of the bullying from Malik Diouf, he finally learned that he has to bulk up. With Henry Agunani also arriving for Salle, then this is positive news for NU fans. Omar John has clearly worked a ton on his game this offseason, on his body, on his conditioning. And you can see yung effort niya on the floor. And it remains to be seen. Will we see Omar John come season 87 or it's gonna be Diasana? But right now, it looks like it's Omar John. Sam?
Okay, so good shout out on Golyena. Nakita ko din siya against FEU. By the way, Golyena, when we were watching live, may kita mo siya yung one of the loudest guys sa bench, whether he's playing or not, diba? So really, you could really use that energy guy. Even I think last season, nakita mo lagi sa bench, sumisigaw yan. Hype man yan si Golyena. So I really love that.
He learned a lot from Ben Phillips. Ben Phillips was the
from
ultimate
Master
hype man.
Ben Phillips, the ultimate hype man. Ben Phillips, come to the show. One of these days, Ben Phillips will come to the show. But for me, sige, my pick, I'm going to pick someone that has been, I would say, has been consistently playing well. I think one of the top scorers siya nung PinoyLiga game nila. I'm gonna pick Aldous Torculas. Someone that we were really hyped on last season. He had his moments last season, though I would say hindi pa siya ganun ka-consistent. But during this PinoyLiga, I think he has been doing really well. And as you mentioned, Maui, in previous episodes, they've been trying to play him more as a wing type of player. But nung last game niya, I think he top scored, I'm not sure, but I think he grabbed like 12, 14 rebounds. So I am pretty sure he led the team with rebounding. So something that I'm looking forward to with Sean Torculas is yung dominant game niya na ganyan, like scoring and rebounding, or being a double-double machine for UP. That could really help elevate yung play ng UP, especially when Francis Lopez sits down. To be honest, for me, like if I had to choose between Belmonte and Torculas, I think Torculas should get majority of the bench minutes kapag nakaupo si Lopez. Gab,
Kasi si Belmonte, pagpasok, yung iniisip lang niya, tire.
Medyo trigger happy pa,
Legit.
to be honest. But
Legit!
But they're making plays
In that
for him.
Salle versus
To be
UP
fair.
game, every time he gets the ball, he wants to shoot it.
But to be fair, they make plays for him. They actually make plays for him. Ano yung he hit like a clutch
It
shot
looks
in
like
a previous game.
Diba? He has the license to
Go
shoot.
Maui.
It looks like he has the license to shoot si
Yes,
Belmonte.
correct.
I love how Gab said na when he gets in, all he wants to do is score now.
Yeah!
Grabe ka naman.
That's
Gab.
literally
Grabe
all
ka
he
naman.
did when he was on the court. Tumira lang
Yun yung play
siya.
talaga.
Baka, but it's just funny na when he's on the court, the offense revolves around him. It's just really funny na that's the way they play when he's on the court. When you compare when he's off the court, umiikot yung bola. Just really funny to me na gaganon yung role niya sa UP. Pag sa court siya, itira mo every time. And I think tama siya, he's a licensed shoot. That's pretty weird to me na ganon yung role niya sa UP.
It wasn't expected kasi, di ba, that Belmonte will be that type of player. But on Torculas, I think one of the things that I'm happy that he's breaking out. He's a homegrown talent kasi, di ba, from the UPIS. We don't
UPIS, yeah.
see, di ba, that's something that's not happening right now a lot in the UAAP. We don't see homegrown talents going up and elevating their game and getting a ton of minutes. Or Torculas is part of that elusive group that we used to see before in the UAAP. So yeah, if you look at Instagram, you see UP players training, you usually see Torculas, one of those players sa camps. His game is really improving by a ton.
Okay, so shout out sa mga UPIS dyan. Support nyo naman si Torculas. By the way, UPIS, watch out for that team kasi I think like past 2 junior seasons, rookie of the year came from UPIS or like most improved player. So it's a team to watch out for. Alam ko medyo kulelet sila, but
yeah. Tsaka sumasama na sila sa training ng UP seniors. I think that's one of the photos posted the past week with even si Tamayo part of the training.
Oo, yun nga yung nabalitaan ko. I think he was watching the UP Lasal game din sa Philoil. But that's it, I think, for this week's episode. So there will definitely be more games in PinoyLiga and we will cover those games. So stay tuned for that and stay tuned if there are more UAAP news roundups. Definitely we'll cover those. If you haven't yet, please comment down below, like, and subscribe to our page. We really appreciate all the help and the engagement that you do to support our team, our podcast. We'll see you again next time. See you.